So have a pour here of the introduction of 2020 Gray Monday, and that's Gray spelled Gray, a little bit more of a distinguished Gray Monday, if you will. As many of our members know, we've been doing variants of Black Tuesday for quite some time, and we do have to find new ways to flex our creative spirit. This year, along with hazelnuts, we also added a vanilla to this version of Gray Monday, which really helps to augment some of the barrel character and round it out, and that's something that we haven't done in the past with the standard version of this beer. In addition, it is double barreled as well. So the double barreling of Black Tuesday really adds a bit more fortification. So it is an elevated alcohol at right around 20%. In addition, we actually took the opportunity to blend in some alternative barrel-aged Black Tuesdays. And when we thought about, well, what could make this beer more distinguished, the idea of just a little bit of Scotch note, Scotch barrel aging, and it's certainly not overwhelming. It's not a peated beer by any means, but we have been playing with Scotch barrels and found some ways to use them in the past few years, and we think that it just adds that little bit of bump to this beer that will differentiate it from the original version. And when you think of something more distinguished, you almost envision that sitting in a lounge in a high back chair, maybe with a cigar or a pipe or not. And while we didn't want this to be a Scotch beer, that element sounded interesting, and it really works. On the nose, you get all the elements of the Reserve Black Tuesday series. So that extra oak, that extra bourbon. If I hadn't talked about it, I wouldn't know the Scotch was there, but there is a variation there on Black Tuesday Reserve that, knowing what it is, you can find it. And then of course the vanilla adds that smoothness that previous Gray Mondays I think didn't need, but certainly helps this beer out. When we talk about Black Tuesday Reserve, the reserve suffix, if you will, for Black Tuesday, we've traditionally used that as the designation for a double barrel aging. And what that means to us from a process and cellar perspective is Black Tuesday is aged as a standard for no less than 12 months in bourbon barrels, a variety of bourbon barrels. We of course source from different suppliers. We have specifications for what we look for in a barrel, and we've got a few distilleries that we prefer, and so that's the standard for Black Tuesday. And then when we talk about double barrel aging, what that process entails is actually taking Black Tuesday that's already aged for a year in bourbon and transferring it onto a new, fresh to us barrel. And what we're looking for is all that same barrel character doubled, along with a continued aging that often lends to a stronger but smoother, even though more complex beer. As far as the Scotch component in this beer, this was double barreled. A portion of beer that we wanted to be a part of the blend was double barreled down 2 Scotch barrels. That portion of the blend would have spent a year in bourbon, and then a period of time in Scotch. As far as the period of time that the Black Tuesday Reserve as a base spends is, it's pretty easy to count on 2 years in aging overall. So a year plus in bourbon, and then a year plus in whatever secondary aging barrel we transfer to. But really that second year is a lot more based on when we feel the beer is ready and when it's going to make the nicest blend.